when locals called me a Mzungu. And I think I got called that once since I've been here in 5 years. So not most think like that, but when you do not call a black African American a Mzungu, that is insulting. We are African American. We may not have been born here on the continent, but our ancestors was. So we're no Mzungu. We are no European. My skin look like your skin. But some try to explain, oh, well, that's anyone that's foreign that wasn't born here. No, because I had one black American friend and she was hot, she's high yellow, light skin. She's hot. But then I told her, even my kaka, who is local, and he's from Tanzania, they call him white man, which I fell out laughing. And I don't understand that because they got a lot of, you know, Tanzania has the highest rate of albinos. So you can go anywhere and you'll find a lot of albino people here in Tanzania, which look way lighter and whiter than me. So, my local Tanzanians, please do not call us black Americans, anyone in the African diaspora, Mzungu. It's very insulting. We don't like that.
So, why are African Americans complaining if Africans are calling them Mzungu? Why is that? Listen to this brother from Tanzania complaining that Africans are calling him Mzungu. I have my reasons and I have my explanation after you watch this.
Many get on us YouTube and say, oh, y'all always report the good of Tanzania, but you never report the bad. So I'm going to make this video of reporting the bad. Now, a lot of locals may come for me, but I'm always talking about the good. So I have to share with my other expats or anyone coming to Tanzania my pet peeves and the cons of living here. Number one, the roads and the infrastructure is horrible, family. So it's just bumpy roads. The side streets you can forget about wearing your good shoes. You would be messing up your J's. So I don't even wear my good shoes here. The government has not put the money they should in the infrastructure for the side streets. The main roads, the main public roads are pretty much decent condition. But the side roads are horrible. Like outside of my compound, let me show you. So I'm on the tail end of rainy season. Look at this water here. This is how the side roads look. So that's one of the pet peeves of Tanzania. Number two, I hate when locals say, this is Africa. Yes, I understand this is Africa and we're not supposed to be bringing our westernized ways here. But Africa can take some tips from us. This is Africa, and now I call it that poor mentality of they don't want to change. That irritates me. Just take some advice. We're not trying to change your way of life, but you got to quit saying this is Africa like that poly, not willing to change. You have to be willing to change because Africa, believe it or not, Tanzania is probably 25 to 30 years behind the Western world. So sometimes I find myself fighting and struggling with trying to make life better for everybody else over here. So you hear a lot of locals say, this is Africa, this is how we do things here. But when it's backwards, you have to have the mindset and knowledge to be want to change for the better. Number three, the scamming goes on here by the locals because they may hear my American accent and they would try to give me a foreign price and a local price. I think there should be all one price like we have in America. America has a capitalist society. One price, they don't care if you're rich or poor. Can you afford to pay it? If not, get the hell out of my store. Here, the minute I open my mouth, if I'm not with a local, They think they got me. They're gonna treat me like a Mzungu. And for those who don't know what Mzungu means, that means white European. Anyone European. That's what the word stands for. But sometimes they even try to treat me like one with raising the price up or whatever. Number 6, one of the cons of living in Tanzania. Poor customer service. Fam, I mean, it's like -10. No one has the drive to do anything as far as their job. In the restaurants, it's terrible because they probably overwork and underpaid. They don't understand time is money. The fundis are horrible. They do not keep their word. You say they come back in 1 hour, you may not see them in a couple of days. They want to get paid up front. I don't pay anyone up front here in Tanzania, or I pay only half of the money. Do not give them all the money. You may never see them again. It's just horrible with they don't value customer service. I'm used to in America, you know, things get done. Maintenance guy come. And for those who don't know, fundi means maintenance. That's what they call their maintenance guy here. Or anyone to work on cars or anything to do blue collar hand work. They call them the fundis in Swahili. They do not understand and value time, which is horrible, and it irritates my skin. Number 8, the power grid here in Tanzania. They have to invest more into their local electricity grid. Power grid here is horrible. But believe it, on this day that I'm making this video, which is, what day is it? May the 17th, Wednesday, I haven't had, my power has not went out in 5 days. I've been having consistent power for 5 days. I can't believe it. Transco must be up to something. That's the name of their local power company. But when I first arrived here 3 weeks ago, the power was going out maybe for an hour, 10 minutes, come back on, like that, every other day. But believe it or not, 5 days with my power consistently running. So I appreciate that, Transco. Number 8, police. Well, this is a two-edged sword, because when you get pulled over by the police here, or when they wave you to stop because they don't have police cars, so they like on the road and be like flagging you, move, pull you over. I guess it's not really a big complaint, because I know I'm going to leave and pull off with my life because they don't have guns, so I don't have to worry about getting killed by the police on a traffic stop that went wrong. But they do like a little moolah, little cash in their pocket to get away with whatever violation you violated. Or everything could be pretty much fine on your car, and they still want a little money for the eat. So you got to break bread, 2,000, 5,000, up to 10,000, even 20K of local currency. That's $8. 10,000 of their currency is $4, and 5,000 is $2 US. So they won't, when they pull you over, they're gonna find a reason to get some money out your pocket. That's one of my pet peeves and cons of Tanzania that I don't like. Number 9, when locals call me a Mzungu. And I think I got called that once since I've been here in 5 years. So not most think like that, but when you do not call a black African American a Mzungu, that is insulting. We are African American. We may not have been born here on the continent, but our ancestors was. So we're no Mzungu. We are no European. My skin look like your skin. But some try to explain, oh, well, that's anyone that's foreign that wasn't born here. No, because I had one black American friend, and she was hot, she's high yellow, light skin. She's hot. But then I told her, even my kaka, who is local, and he's from Tanzania, they call him white man, which I fell out laughing. And I don't understand that, because they got a lot of, Tanzania has the highest rate of albinos. So you can go anywhere and you'll find a lot of albino people here in Tanzania, which look way lighter and whiter than me. So my local Tanzanians, please do not call us black Americans, anyone in the African diaspora, Mzungu. It's very insulting. We don't like that. Number 10. I think I'm in order. I'm kind of skipping around my list, but I think I'm number 10 of the cons of living in Tanzania. Locals think you're supposed to take care of them because they may think that you have more money than them. And I don't like that. I went on a couple of dates with some dadas here, and she has the nerve to bring her friends on the date. I think that is very disrespectful. I'm taking you on a date, not your friends. And I kid you not, I was at Giuliani's. It's this club here in Dar es Salaam, Giuliani's, in the Bazzi Beach area. Do you know her friends was on the phone calling, making their orders to have their food already at the table when they get here? And I was like, what? So, sure enough, I didn't pay for that meal because I didn't like, to me that was disrespectful and tasteless. But I noticed that about the culture here. They love to bring their friends with them to have a good time on your dime. That ain't how we roll in America. I mean, you got some women like that. They call them here slay queens. For one, freeloading girls or whatever. So anyway, I nipped that out and slid out the date. Of course, I paid for her meal that I was with, but her friends, you got to pay for your own meal. I don't appreciate that. So that's one of the cons. You got to be careful. The dadas would like bring their whole posse to eat and drink off of you if you allow them. Now, if I say fine, that's cool. But please ask me, or please ask that person, is it cool that I bring my friends or my girls, and we all have a good time? But just don't take it upon yourself to do that. Number 11. One of the cons of living in Tanzania. The landlords. We call them landlords in America. Here they call them house father or house mother. Family, they do not want to take care of their property. They think it's your job to take care of your property. Mind you, everyone has to pay their rent up maybe 3, 6 months, or 12 months for the year. So mainly it's 6 to 12 months you pay your rent up. If you pay 3 months, then you're getting, good. So most people can't even afford to pay 6 to 12 months here locally. Us from the diaspora who have more higher income, yes, we can afford to do that. But they feel like, and this is the problem I have with paying someone 6 months or 12 months of rent. They feel once you pay them their rent money, it's your house. They don't want to fix nothing in their house. And I'm like telling them, this is your house. Why would I pay to fix something in your house? This is your investment, not mine. I pay to stay. They want you to fix the pipes, anything that you feel that in America, you just call the maintenance guy, they come and fix it because it's in our rent already. So that's how they get you here. They make you want to pay for their house. They say, oh, I give you house, it's yours. You fix it, it's your house. No, it's not my house because it's my house. I'll be staying there. But eventually, I do have my own crib. This is how Pan-African living here in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. But I do not expect to fix landlord house or house mother, house father's house. That's their job. It's their property. And while I'm at it, number 11, Delalis. I heard these stories about these Delalis. Okay, we call them realtors in America. They got Delalis. It's a bunch of people that find houses for you to stay. And family, they may be trying to scam you. There's a lot of videos on how the Delalis are horrible here in Tanzania. Just say you buy a house for 1 million shillings a month. That's $500 a month. The Delali, the one who showed you that house, he expect you to pay him 1 month's rent for him finding you that house. And it is negotiable. If you come, you be like, no, I'm not paying that. Well, I'm paying you 1 month's rent, and then I gotta turn around and pay the house father another 6, or house mother another 6 to 12 month rent. But half of the time these Delalis, and then they want you to pay them money to show them the houses and this and that, and then guess what? They don't even know the person of the house.
You know, it's very interesting how Africans, we sometimes see African Americans. I'm not talking about me, I'm talking about other Africans. How we think of African Americans when they move to Africa. You know, we are so much used to what the television, what the Western media is showing us, until it has painted our imagination. It has created that thought in our mind. You know, it's so bad that, you know, an African in Africa, the continent, when an African American comes, they look at him and they call him Mzungu. Mzungu. They don't like that. Of course, I know there are two things which African Americans don't like, and I personally don't like them because of the origin of those names. The first is the name nigger. African Americans and Africans, we don't like being called that. Another thing is being called Mzungu. You know, black Americans have that lighter complexion, and Africans, when we look at them and when we also listen to their English, we think they are white people, but this is very, very insulting. Some African Americans are finding this very, very insulting. And why is that? They are finding this very insulting because they are being called the name of the oppressors. They are being called the name of the colonizer. You know, it's so bad that somebody who has been oppressing you, somebody who's been colonizing you, you are being called his name. You don't want to be associated with that. It causes some kind of post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, is being caused by this. So an African brother in Tanzania brought this issue at hand. During an interview I had with some black Americans in my live streams and also the videos, they were saying these are also about Africans. Some Africans who have not been exposed very well, calling them Mzungu because they have lighter complexion and their English is fluent because their English is their first language. So anytime you're first, everyone will always be fluent and be affluent in their first language. But I think Africans, they don't have the awareness. It's not an insult that we call you Mzungu. I have never called an African American Mzungu because I have the awareness. But if you move to the interiors, if you move to the rural areas, these people don't even have electricity. These people don't have no internet. So if they call you Mzungu, it's not out of a bad heart. It's not that they're not welcoming you. It's that they don't have the exposure. They don't have the exposure. This is one thing you should understand. They don't have the exposure, and that's why they're doing all this. It's not because they dislike you, no. They like you. And they like you. The name they should call you is what they get confused of. So, don't feel bad about it, okay? So, many of the things that the brother has discussed are partially true, and I also think that the brother is full of himself. Remember the part where he said he can't put on his best shoes because the roads are very bad? I think that's also too bad for him to say that. coming to Africa, coming to Tanzania, he was to expect that. Tanzania is not like USA. I'm always telling you, don't find USA in Africa. You will never find it and you will go disappointed. So it's an expected thing. It's a recommended thing that also I can't seem to find many faults with what he said, but however, he said the truth. When you come to Africa, Tanzania does not have to be Tanzania, any African countries. The things he said also happen here in Kenya. You know, we are trying to bring Africa virtually to you. We are giving you a virtual tour of Africa so that when you come here, you know what to expect. The part where he said about the ladies and being wanted to be given bills by that woman's friends, that's something that is not only in Africa. That's something that happens everywhere. We've seen even in the movies where African Americans or even white people bring their friends on dates. It's not an African problem. It is a human problem. I think where he's right is only problems that are exclusive to Africa. The only problems that are exclusive to Africa are the only problems which are valid, which you can say, of course, this is what we need to work on, we as Africans. And about electricity, East Africa has better electricity than West Africa. Don't take my word for it, do your research. West Africa has always had electricity problems. South Africa has electricity problems. East Africa does not have that much of an electricity problem, but we do have electricity problems because it has not reached all other parts of Africa, all other parts of Kenya, for instance. The rural areas, my rural area has not, many people don't have the electricity. Those privileged are the ones who can have it, because even to install this electricity requires a lot of money, which people in the rural areas don't have. So there are things we can listen from brother. Take care of people, do your research, don't trust anyone blindly and all that. And if you're going to date, the laws of dating apply here in Kenya the same way they apply in the United States of America. And we don't call African Americans Mzungu because we don't accept them or because we want to insult them. No. The people who are calling Africans Mzungu are the people who don't have the exposure. They have not had the exposure of meeting foreigners. So that's a no for me. I think I'm gonna rest my case here. Otherwise, I'll talk till the end. I don't wanna talk. I'm hungry, I want to have some tea. So see you in the next video, okay?